AgEagle had its earnings call today, just an hour ago while I'm recording this video, and between the lines it looks a little bit like the CEO of AgEagle, Brendan Torres de Klet, is trying to communicate to us what direction he is willing to take with his company. In this video today we're going to be talking about the fundamentals of AgEagle, also the valuation, and then some technical analysis, so let's do it. As always, I've shared the notes of the earnings call with my Discord Premium members. I share all of my research with these members, and if you would like to join our Discord, then you can do so by going to nesami.com/discord or by going to patreon.com/nesami. Let's first take a look at the valuation of the company right now of AgEagle UAVS, and as we can see in the earnings call, the revenue for Q2 of this year, 2021, was about $2 million. Now, most of this money comes actually from MicroSense. Of course, the MicroSense is the company AgEagle acquired back in January, I believe. So most of the revenue comes from that company. And the thing is, if you annualize this revenue, if you annualize $2 million in revenue per quarter, you would arrive at a total revenue for the entire year of about $8 million. Likely is going to increase a little bit, so like 8.5, maybe even $9 million for the entire year. Now, if you keep in mind that AgEagle currently has a market cap of about $255 million, and you take into account that the annual revenue is more or less $9 million, then the current price to sales ratio becomes about 28. And also keep in mind, we're going to talk about this in a second, they have about $39 million in cash, and the enterprise value then becomes $216 million. So the EV to sales ratio, the enterprise value to sales ratio, becomes about 24 right now. And these numbers are, well, definitely a little bit on the high end, but I do imagine the valuation can shift very quickly if AgEagle is going to provide more revenue in the future in the next coming quarters and years. Then back to the earnings call, because as we can see, they have about $39 million in cash right now. I wasn't actually up to date with this, but it looks like they were selling shares to some institutional shareholders or institutional investors. They have been raising about $29 million from two institutional investors, Stifel Nicolaus & Company and also Raymond James. Now, they can actually sell up to $100 million in total, so they are only like, well, a little bit over 1/4 of the entire amount of shares they are going to sell, but it looks like they are going to get more and more cash over time. Now, the question is, of course, what are they going to use this cash for? I suppose the cash is going to be used for more and more acquisitions in the future. I suppose this is going to be a little bit like Alpine 4 Holdings, that is just acquiring company after company after company. Now, of course, it does need to make sense for AgEagle. The companies that they acquire do need to fit in within their business model. So I'm very much looking forward to what kind of companies they are currently looking for. They didn't really give us any indications about what kind of companies they are currently looking for. So yeah, we just need to wait and see. Then let's shift a little bit to the fundamentals of this company, because during the earnings call they were mentioning a focus on energy, construction, agriculture, and government. So there was no real package delivery or anything like that, like commerce or stuff like that. They were talking about these four sectors. Government, so things for like the military, the police, for example, firefighters, maybe even. Agriculture, of course, AgEagle is very much focused on agricultural drones. Construction, monitoring of the construction sites, for example, and also energy. And I was actually very briefly looking over this article from Measure about the use of drones in the world of energy. For example, to be able to monitor things like, well, solar energy panels and also these wind farms with these wind turbines. So it's quite interesting to see that AgEagle seems to be focusing a little bit more on the real life use cases instead of just package delivery, which seems to be, well, not here just yet, you know. I think this might just take a while before we're actually going to see drones in package delivery. This can take multiple years, and as Brendan Torres de Klet, the CEO of AgEagle, has been saying before, it kind of looks like the regulation seems to be the issue here. It might take a while before the regulators are actually going to allow drones being used for package delivery. The CEO of AgEagle also talked a little bit about the major e-commerce client. Everyone is hoping that it is Amazon, but it's actually a little bit unlikely in my personal opinion. Now, Brendan Torres de Klet actually said that this was an important contract, but it was more important because it was a proof of concept. It doesn't really seem to be that they are very much focusing anymore on package delivery. It seems to be that this was just a proof of concept, and that the current business, the current contract with the major e-commerce player is no longer material to the business. That is basically the words that he has been using. No longer material to our business. Then Valqari, because as you might know, AgEagle has been partnering up with Valqari. Valqari was making these mailboxes, these smart mailboxes for drones, but they seem to be breaking up right now. They had a contract in place for 2 years, but it looks like they prematurely have, well, basically ended the contract. Why? I'm not entirely sure. During the earnings call, Brendan Torres-Leclerc said that the company Valqari right now isn't part anymore of their future growth strategy. So we're kind of left in the dark as to why they actually broke up with Valqari before the 2-year contract actually ended. Also, multiple people have been asking about the loan that AgEagle gave to Valqari, and AgEagle lent them about $500,000 for an interest rate of only 3%, and not everyone was very excited to see that. Now, it looks like we don't really know what is going to happen with that loan. The CEO of AgEagle didn't really mention anything about the loan, so it might be the case that we still are going to see that loan in place for another year or so until the contract there has actually ended. But yeah, again, we are not entirely sure if that is actually the case. Then a little bit of information about Measure, the company that was acquired by AgEagle this year as well. This company, Measure, had a little revenue, especially if you compare it to the revenue of MicroSense, for example. In the earnings call, we were able to read, or we were able to listen also to the fact that the amount of sensor sales totaled about 1.7 million, and the amount of software subscription sales were about 173,000. So it's kind of interesting to see that Measure is bringing in relatively little revenue, and I'm still kind of wondering why we paid $45 million for this company. Why is this company worth so much compared to MicroSense? Because MicroSense was acquired for way less than that. Still not entirely sure about that. If you have any suggestions about that, definitely let me know in the comments. And we also heard about Measure that the ground control system of Measure is now SOC2 compliant. Basically means that they are now complying with the regulations or the requirements with regards to cybersecurity. There was a 6-month audit for this Measure control system, and it looks like now everything is in order. Okay, so the direction of the company right now, AgEagle, seems to be shifting a little bit. The focus of AgEagle is shifting. We have heard that the major e-commerce client is no longer material to the business of AgEagle. We have seen the breakup between Valqari and AgEagle. We have been reading in the news that the Amazon drone delivery team is basically imploding, is collapsing, is losing a lot of workers. So all of this seems to suggest that AgEagle currently is shifting its focus right now, that it seems to be putting the package delivery drones on hold for now, that they might revisit this later on in a few years or so when the regulation has been improved with regards to package delivery via drones. Now, it might be too early for package delivery, but it seems like AgEagle is right now also shifting its focus to real life use cases right now. It seems to be focusing itself more on agriculture, on government, on, well, the military services, on, for example, the energy sectors and the construction sectors. So it looks like they are trying to focus more on those kind of things. Now the question does remain, how will investors react exactly? Because personally, I don't really even know what to think of this situation. I'm not entirely sure if I'm sad because AgEagle is no longer shifting its focus or no longer focusing on package delivery, or if I should be happy because right now they have a clearer focus on something that is very tangible, that is very real life, you know. And yeah, it might just be the case that this might be a temporary situation. It might be the case that for the next 2 years or something like that, they're going to focus on these sectors instead of package delivery. And then they could use the experience from government applications, from energy applications, from construction applications, and use that knowledge to provide drone services for package delivery as well. Then let's do some very quick technical analysis as well. It seems to be that we are still trading in a downtrend. We are kind of consolidating within this region, within this blue box, between about $3.70 on the low end and about $4.20 on the high end. It seems to be that if we break down, then the next level of support is going to be around $3 per share. If we zoom in a little bit, we can see that the Bollinger Bands are very tight right now. These Bollinger Bands being these blue or kind of green bands over here. And usually the tighter they become, the more explosive the breakout is going to be. So the question is going to be, where are we going to see the breakout? Is that going to be a breakout to the upside or to the downside? We also seem to be resisted still by the 55 exponential moving average, which is this white line over here. We can see that basically a lot of tops have been caught by that 55 EMA. This line over here was keeping the price action down over here back in March 2021, over here as well in April 2021, over here in June 2021, and over here in almost July 2021 as well. And right now we are basically trading between the 55 EMA and this blue box of support. So I kind of expect a breakout to happen within a few weeks or something like that. Then if we take a look at the indicators, especially at the RSI, we can see that the RSI right now is in an uptrend. We see some bullish divergence, so the RSI going up and the price action going down, which usually is a good sign. And then if we take a look at the MACD right now, seems to be a little bit neutral in my opinion. The MACD is still hovering around that signal line, so no strong signal over here right now. So if you want my opinion about the current price action, I'm honestly very split about the price action right now, because there are indicators, of course, that are slightly more bullish than bearish, but in general it doesn't really seem to be a very strong trend right now. So if I would have to put a percentage to this, I would say that in the next couple of weeks or maybe even month, it is about 55% likely that we're going to see a little bit more of upside, but 45% likelihood of a little bit more of downside. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see a breakout to either side. I know that's very useless of course, but yeah, that's everything I can provide you with right now. So after this earnings call, I'm not entirely sure if I should be happy or if I should be sad. I'm very much looking forward to your opinion about the earnings call of AgEagle. What do you think about the future of this company, at least in the short term or in the medium term, in the next couple of months and potentially even years? Let me know in the comments. Now, if you haven't seen this video here about the 14 reasons to not buy AgEagle stock, definitely do so. But if you have already done so, then definitely check out my mission and my roadmap right over here. And with that being said, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.